Today we'll be checking out the Jester, which is a removed website car and is no longer available for purchase on Legendary Super Autos. It can, however, be obtained through other players at the LS CarMate. As for price, it is $240,000, which is a bargain, especially in this economy in a sea of $1 million sports cars and supercars. But with that said, I'm going to get into the customization and discuss why it's a great car. The customization here is actually pretty good, considering that this car has been in the game for about 10 years, making it a bit more rare and forgotten over time. But as you can see, you really have a lot of GT-oriented options right here. For guys like me that like to keep things subtle, you're not really going to have such a good time. But if you want something flashy, then this car has you covered. But I mean, it's still pretty nice to look at cosmetically, if we're speaking about the customization here. And now for the exhausts. The exhaust options here are pretty nice, even though you do get three options here. I really do like the chrome exhausts, one of the middle options right there. So let's just go with that. For my build, I also want to make it a bit accurate to the actual car in terms of the paint job and just the visuals. So for the paint, I want to replicate the Long Beach Blue, which was available on the Acura NSX from about 2017 all the way to 2022, if I remember correctly. This color is going to be a bit difficult and easy to recreate depending on how close you want to get to the paint, or if you want a lighter or a darker blue. Again, it's all up to personal preference if you want to recreate this color. But I'll just settle for a metallic blue, and then I'll match the secondary to that as well. So yeah, I feel like this is the perfect one to go with. But as you can see, there's so many nice and vibrant options that fit this car so well. I'll also go back and quickly show you what the rest of the colors look like, but just give me a sec here, how they look on the car. But I'll just settle for either a racing blue or a blue. But yeah, let's just go for a racing blue, and let's match that as well. Let's see, it was a racing blue, right? It's kind of interesting how you have this secondary color which was not available in the real car. So this is more of an artistic thing from Rockstar's end, a little bit more creative. So yeah, let's just color match that and put on a pearlescent. But before that, this is what the rest of the colors look like on the car. So if we want to go with something else, I mean, most of these colors look spectacular. The car itself is already very beautiful to look at. So if you want to do a silver or a red, I mean, it's going to fit the car very well. But it looks like everything is color matched, so let's just go on to something else. Right here, you only have two roll cage options. The one in the bottom is more GT oriented. So if you want to do a race car spec, of course this car more than welcomes you to do so. It also adds more detail, which is very nice to look at. And that extends right here to the rear with a cover. Now for the skirts, these are okay. I'm personally not a fan. As I said, unless you want to go for a racing build, you're not really going to like these very much because they're not subtle. But again, that's all up to you, how you want to do this build. But what's next here? And for the spoilers here, these options are pretty nice and it does add more downforce. However, it would have been nice if there was a ducktail option, a carbon ducktail or a black ducktail. Something more subtle, more realistic than wings that are more aftermarket oriented. But that's okay, it still looks nice. For the suspension, this is already very low. But if you want to go any lower, that's up to you. But I feel like it's already too low. so might as well skip it. Now for the wheels, I want to do a simple synthetic C, which is like a 5-star design, just like the real car. And I feel like it matches it very well, as you can see right here. It's very slim and it just captures that design from the NSX very nicely. So I'm gonna put that on. The real car also had darker alloys, I believe they were, darker wheels. So I'm gonna settle with this, the stone silver. You also have a tire lettering option here, of course, but I'm gonna skip that. And I also need to put bulletproof tires, unfortunately, because a lot of players and NPCs like to aim for that. The last option here is for me to show you the window tint. I always prefer the light smoke, and I recommend that one as well. If you want to heighten the interior or just add more realism. But with that said, on to the details. The detail and texture quality here is pretty decent. I really cannot complain considering that this car has been in the game for about 10 years now. So some details and textures really will not align very well with 2026 or, more recent years. And the interior itself is a bit outdated, but the texture quality is still very good. So I can't really, you know, take off too many points for that. I really love this engine detail right here, although it's not completely accurate. I believe the real car had a V6 or an inline 6. I'll have to check later. But the rest of the car is just very well modeled and still detailed. And now for the performance. The speed is still pretty decent. Actually, no, it's great. As well as the handling is superb. I really had a lot of fun driving this car and I really cannot complain. It's not really the most up to date in terms of performance, but I say it's still a very good option if you want something fun to drive around the map. And it's very cheap as well. So if you're interested in this car, please let me know. But before I sign off, I want to show you just how this car performs on tight corners. As you can see, it just does a flawless job even with these wide turns. But I'm gonna get to a tighter corner to show its endurance, like this one right here. At a high speed, it does a very good job, and it didn't spin out at all. But with that said, if you're interested in this car, please let me know. And that's all I got for today. And as always, thanks for watching.